this is Jill from Paper Daisy Crafting. Thank you for joining me today. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demo here in the UK, bringing you inspiration for your own paper craft projects. This is our project for today. This is a card I brought you on my blog a while ago, and it's taken me a while. Sorry, I had the whole of October was really a wipeout for me, so I'm really chasing my tail to catch up. So this is a card I showed you ages ago on my blog, and I'm just going to bring it to you today. It's called a floating circle card. I don't know if you can see on there, but this circle is kind of floating off the card, and I've used a window sheet to adhere the layers of card to. So I'm just going to show you how I did that. Love this little butterfly there. A note of thanks, which is from the Sending Smiles stamp set. So it's there, just a nice simple little greeting. So let's make a start. We're going to do our circle first, and then we'll create the card. So this is a great way to use up your card scrap. So I've just chosen some colours of card here. Here I used Parakeet Party, Polished Pink and Daffodil Delight. Here I'm using Bermuda Bay, Gorgeous Grape, Coastal Cabana and Heather, Highland Heather. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use these to cut some strips of card. Doesn't have to be a particular width. Doesn't have to be, you know, just do what you think. So you could have a thin one, or you could just have what's been left over. That's not very straight. Let's try again. That wasn't very straight. So let's try another one. That can't have been a very straight piece of card to start with. There we go. That's a bit better. So we won't have that one. We'll use that one. Might cut another one that's a bit thicker, just in case. I don't know that we'll want to use it, but again, if you were doing this card as mass production, you could do all these strips first. There we go. There's another strip, and then a bit of Bermuda Bay. Oh, I need to cut that. That's obviously not straight, so cut that bit off first, and then strip of Bermuda Bay. And I might just do a tiny strip. Tiny strip of Bermuda Bay as well, just to mix things up a little bit, although that'll be quite difficult to adhere, so I may not end up using that, and with second thoughts. A strip of Coastal Cabana, like so. Again, not straight, so we'll try again. I really need to check that these are straight before I start cutting. Just get that in there, that's it. And some Gorgeous Grapes. I've just got a little bit of Gorgeous Grape here, so let's try and line that up so that it's straight. I'll just do one more bit just in case we need it. There we go, and that other bit can be used for another card another time, and that's probably all we need. That's enough. So where is so the die that we're using is this one, which is from the Layering Circles, and it's the second to biggest circle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay it under my window sheet so that I can see that I'm covering the area. And then I'm going to take my tear and tape and my scissors. So I'm going to use Coastal Cabana in the middle of it. Yeah, Coastal Cabana. So it just needs to overlap the circle a little bit, and a little bit of tear and tape on there, and then remove the backing if you can. Doesn't want to come off. There it is. And just layer that. So let's get this straight, and then I can use my grid lines to try and make sure I get this straight. There we go, we'll do that there. And then we'll do, what should we do? We'll do that down there. We'll do a piece of Highland Heather next. And I'm going to leave a gap so that that's what gives the effect of the floating bit. There we go. So you can use thinner strips, although the reason I said I won't use that thinner strip is because the tear and tape won't fit underneath it, so that's why I'm hedging a little bit. Right, I'm going to bring this down here, like so, there, and then I'm going to use another bit of, no, I'll use a bit of Gorgeous Grape on the lower bit. Of course, if you want to go and cut some more strips, you can if you don't have enough. You can use multicolours, you can use one colour, any combination of colours you like. So let's bring that down to here, and this is our bottom bit. Just going to leave a slightly bigger gap. Again, you can do that. What should we do? We'll have a bit of no, we'll have another bit of Gorgeous Grape next, I think. So that will go there. When you die cut this, it won't die cut completely clean, or it didn't last time when I did it, but it is possible to do it. The die has got to work quite hard to get through layers of card and a layer of window sheet. Right, so I'm just, without the circle, I know how big it needs to be now. There we go. And then a bit of Bermuda Bay. Trim that off a little bit. Won't need to be that big. You probably could adhere these with tape runner if you wanted to do a thinner one. You could use a bit of tape runner, or you could carefully cut the tear and tape, but that's a bit too fiddly even for me. As you know, I don't mind fiddly, but that's a bit over the top for even me. So that goes there. I'm going to do a smaller gap there. Now let's see how we're doing. Have we done enough? No, we still need a bit more. So we'll use another bit of Highland Heather. Like so. There we go. And a last piece. I think we need one more piece. Yeah, if we're going to cut there, I think we need one last piece of what should we do? Coastal Cabana. Got a piece of Coastal Cabana here just to make sure we've got enough to cut the whole circle. So that'll be fine. Excellent. Hope you're still with me. You can whiz this part of the video on if you're bored of seeing me do this. There we go. But I thought it was important to show the process there. And now what's going to happen is we're going to put the circle on here and push it through our die cutter. Right, okay, I'm just going to take a little bit of washi tape just to make sure that stays in place. And I'm going to use my big die cutter, my big size cut and emboss, just because I feel it might give a bit more of a robust cut than the smaller one, and it does need to be quite robust, the cut for this. Also means I don't have to cut into my window sheet as well, so I might be able to use that for something else. The window sheet, by the way, was from a stamp set. You know, the photopolymer stamp sets come between two window sheets, and this is one of the window sheets. So you don't even have to buy the window sheets, you can use it from your stamp sets. They're designed, the stamp sets are designed that you will take them out of off the window sheets and stick them to the stamp case. Right, so let's have a look at how that's doing. That looks quite good. As I said, it won't go through, so I'm just going to do it another couple of times just to make sure that we've cut as much as we can, and then you might just need to use your scissors to finish it off. And while we're here, before I do that, I'm just going to cut a butterfly. If I can remember what I've done with my butterfly die. Here it is. And this is one of the butterflies from the Butterfly Brilliant set. which is quite an intricate butterfly die, but it looks quite nice when posted on top of your floating circle. There we go. Right, that's all our die cutting out of the way. So I'll clean the plates up later. And back to, right, okay, so we've got our circle here. And like I said, it hasn't cut through completely, but it's cut enough that you can use your scissors to just keep to those lines. There we go. It's coming apart a bit. So you just need to give it a little bit of help. So it's not quite done there. So again, just a little bit of help from your scissors, and then it just comes apart. So it's quite easy to do. And it's where the card and the window sheet are that's the tricky bit. It comes away quite easily where the it's just window sheet. It's cut through that quite easily. It's just cutting through these layers of cardstock. I suppose you could cut the circle out of window sheet and then stick on your card strips and then cut round them using the circle as a guide. There we go. There. So there's our floating circle. And before we stick it on our card, we're going to do our stamping, and I'm hoping I'm going to get this straight. So on my Coastal Cabana bit, this is a note of thanks, like I said, from Stamps Sending Smiles. Bit of a black mark there. And sorry if my head's in the way, I just want to make sure I get this as straight as possible. Oh, perfect. There we go. There. Right, now we can start putting our card together. So on the back here, we're going to need some dimensionals. So you want to put the dimensionals where the strips of card are, obviously, so that you don't see them through. So I've got some big ones here that I've got a little one there that's trying to escape, so we'll use him. But then I've got some that I've cut in half, some big ones that I've cut in half, which will perfectly go behind our floating circle. Like so. Don't need them all over. Just position where you think. Just make sure there's enough. As I've got some left over, I might just use these up, but they're not really needed if you didn't want to use up as many as I've used. There we go. Right, put that to one side because that's going to come in later. So this time, this one I used portrait fold. I'm going to do a tent fold just because I happen to have a piece of Highland Heather going spare. So it needs to be 10.5 wide. This is a bit more than 10.5, so I'm just going to trim that down. And then I'm going to turn it round and score it at about 14.8. It should be about halfway. So just fold that. Oh, that's not bad actually. That's not bad at all. And then while I've got my trimmer out, I'm going to cut my piece of cardstock down to, I'm going to cut it down to 9.5 by 14. Just less than 14 actually. 13.8. There we go. Let's see what that looks like. There we go. Quite a wide border, but I don't mind that. That's what I'd like. Right, I'm just going to take my bone folder and burnish that. And then a little bit of Tombow. You can use tape runner. You could use a Stampin' Seal. Any glue that you prefer. You could even use the tear and tape on here if you wanted to. There we go. Mount that on there. And then our floating circle. It's going to go quite centrally. towards the top of the card. So I just need to take the backing off my dimensionals. Another reason for not using too many, because it takes you forever to take the backings off. There we go. There we are. And then that was nice colour scheme, this one, isn't it? I always say that when I use this purple and turquoise colour scheme. There we go. And then, where's my butterfly? So I just need to poke all the little bits out of my butterfly. It's quite easy to do. They do just fall out, but they do stay stuck in when you just die cut it. So you just need a bit of wiggling. You can use one of our die brushes, but you can see how quickly that I did that without a die brush. Right, and that is just going up there like that. And that's our card finished. I will need to do a little panel inside because it's a Highland Heather inside and it's a bit dark to write on. You could write on it, but I will do a panel later on to go inside there. So that's it. We've got a Tahitian tide with nice bright colours, or we've got the purple and turquoise, the gorgeous grape, Highland Heather, and whatever. But that's how you do a floating circle card, or that's how I do it. You may find other methods from other demos somewhere, but that's mine. If you want to buy any of the products I've used, they're all current Stampin' Up products. You can go below, there'll be links to all the products and in the description, or there'll be a link to my shop, or there'll be a link to my blog where there's more photos. So if you wanted to save a photo or pin it to your Pinterest boards or whatever, it'll be there on my blog. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed my video, and I'll be back really soon with another one. Bye for now.